It was a very difficult war, the First World War, to return to the home country afterwards, because there was unemployment, there was poverty, there were injuries, severe mental and physical injuries that were not perhaps dealt with as well as they could be very often. There was a degree of shell shock and trauma for many soldiers that again wasn't properly recognised, and there was a sense that people didn't want to hear about, you couldn't talk about it, you didn't want to talk about it perhaps, so you had to bury your experience, those vital years during which you'd experience things that normally you'd never experience in a lifetime. And you came back and sometimes there was the feeling that people didn't want to hear, didn't want to know, they wanted to move forward. If you think about a small community such as the one where the lie is set, you're looking at a place that in 1914, many, many young people, men and women, never expected to go farther than the nearest town. Suddenly, they went in trains, they went in ships, they went to France, they had never expected in their lives to go overseas, and they did that. The communities were often bereft of their young people. You would have, in one family, you might have 2 sons dead, or you might have 2 sons injured. You also had, I think this had a very big impact, that the decision was made not to repatriate the dead. So people went, you said goodbye to them, and often you never saw them again. So the building of war memorials was very, very important because of that after the war. But it was a huge loss and an enormous, enormous social change. I believe that the lie has a lot of resonance for today because it's about extreme experience and the incommunicability of that sometimes to people who haven't gone through it. There are still people returning from experiences which have transformed, maybe shattered their lives, and they cannot express it. They cannot tell anybody what's happened to them. It also, I think, has timeless themes such as love, childhood friendship, that passionate, profound attachment people have to one another and to place, and then the sense of rebuilding your life. How do you rebuild your life after a tragedy? No matter what that tragedy is, how do you do that? I think that's a universal theme and one which will never die. It's always with us.